cool. I'm trying to get hip with this podcast shit. Maybe I don't know. It's my first, guys. I don't know what to do with my hands right now.
You're doing great.
You're doing great. Welcome,
You're doing
everybody.
great.
This is the CyphaDen Chat. I'm your host, Tayamu Danker. We got the homie Pestilence in the building tonight. Special guest, B Kupps. What is going on, my friend? How are you this evening?
I am doing beautiful. I am just sitting here with the windows open, letting the breeze blow through my thick head of hair right here.
I feel you, man. That happens to me every day when I get home from work.
Pesto, you don't got hair. It's cool. I like it.
Nah, dude.
How
Never.
you guys?
I'm chilling, man. Yesterday I think I was in full blown recovery mode from the weekend because it's not like I'm fine with doing shows, like touring, doing shows, shit like that out of town. But sitting at a festival all day is a whole nother thing. That's like tiring. Even though it's not like I was performing all day, you know what I'm saying? But like sitting there at a festival all day long is exhausting. And then when I got home, because I drove all the way back from the festival, me and Pesto played in Iron Mountain, and I think I got home like 2:30 or something like that, and then passed out. Woke up the next day. Thought I was gonna do something productive. No, zero, nothing at all. I laid around. I had some random headache happen. I barely ever get headaches. I don't even know what the fuck that shit was about, and then I just fucking passed out again.
No, I can agree with you on these festivals, man. We just did this 2 day thing, and and day one wasn't even for me. It's just they asked me to bring Big Buck Beezy with, and I ran his merch table. But when the doors open at 3:30 for VIP, and the show runs till midnight, that's a long day, especially when you're not performing. And then the next day it's the same thing. Doors open 3:30. I'm on around 5, even though they ran a little bit late, but then you're there until midnight again. So it was always like a full-time job being at this festival.
Yeah.
Brings out the old man in you. I'm just like, oh, hey.
Yeah, I was shout out the festival real quick. The name of the one that you were a part of, and who was a part of it.
So I was at the Slap Nasty Bash. It's Slappies and Nasty Glass. They work together to make these big events. Brought us down to Undefined KC in Kansas City, which is this big historic building that they actually have like 8 to 10 tenants that live somewhere in this bitch. It's big. And but it's just awesome. You walk in, they had like 3 VIP rooms, a huge auditorium, multi-level. It was a lot of fun. An open concept cannabis event.
That's what's up, man.
Set my merch table up right next to the dab bar, and they had unlimited dabs. Never seen anything like that before in my life. You pick your size, and you can sit there and just keep coming back. So that was interesting.
Yeah, me and Pesto had nothing like that during our festival
No.
experience.
Oh,
Our
even
festival experience was like a mini Comic-Con though, because there were legitimately real life cartoon characters at this event. We saw Beavis, we saw fucking Matthew Lillard, we saw the kid from Stranger Things, we saw a
Really?
guy who came in a wheelchair that just got up and walked over to a merch table for an hour.
Yeah, but Pesto's describing these people, and they weren't dressed up to play these characters. This is what these motherfuckers look like.
Yes.
Oh, no, okay, yeah.
They just looked like this. And like not just like, hey, they kind of look like this. They looked exactly like this.
Yeah,
Like,
the Beavis was spot on, and
He
fucking
was like
straight
19.
and like the Stranger Things dude. I mean, come on, man.
He
Like,
was spot on too. He was the kid with the curly hair and the
yeah.
kind of squinty eyes.
yeah, this
That
shit
one.
was crazy.
The DJ looked like fucking Slim Shady if he never stopped drugs. and just like kept going. He was
But he
cool
was
as fuck
mad cool
though.
though. He was
He
mad
was the
cool.
coolest fucking dude there. He was like the coolest dude that was part of the operation that we were a part of. Like
Yeah,
he
he
took
told me a
he held it
crazy
down.
story. Crazy story.
Where was your event again?
It was at the
Uh
Max in Iron Mountain.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know that's that was gonna be on the Rise tour that I backed out of. That's why it sounds familiar to me. But yeah, so that looks like a
They
cool.
played there the night before to like it looked like 3 to 4 people from what we saw in the pictures.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't look good. That show looked real dead, real bad. And like so here's the weird thing about it. Whole rows of chairs in the middle of the place. I mean, it's a show. You know what I'm saying? Like that was kind of the dead thing cuz like I know for part of Pesto's set, actually for Pesto's set, probably more than half the crowd was sitting down or in the back. And then for my shit, damn near the whole crowd was in the back because this one fucking dude that went on right before me got everybody to stand up. And I feel like they used all their energy to do this for this
Hmm.
terrible rapper guy that rapped over his vocals and wanted me to come up close and turn up with him and all that. And then literally right when he got off stage, he left the whole venue and completely left. And then all the people that stood up for his shit
Went to smoke.
all sat down or went to smoke or whatever. And then I'm standing there trying to do my shit. They can't get my sound right until like the last 2 songs. It was actually pretty disastrous for me personally. And this is the thing I want to say about it. I got no disrespect to the venue at all. No disrespect. Keep doing your events, keep doing your thing. I think the organization could have been way better festival wise as far as how things were moving. And I don't feel like anybody ever that runs sound or runs an event should have a problem with a hip hop artist asking to use their own microphone.
No, how hard is it, especially if it's a wired? I mean,
Huge
we've seen
issue.
people freak out
We
about
were
wired.
told we were told originally that they could sanitize the mics and they held up a pack of wet ones.
You can sanitize the mics all day long, but I'd still like to use mine if I have it.
Right.
How hard is it to do this?
Theirs were wireless mics, so they had to plug in the cord from scratch. And it was supposed to, hey, that
Wow.
might cut into your set time, guys. That's what we were told.
Yeah, it
Wow.
was, you know
That
what I'm
sounds
saying?
like
Meanwhile, all the rock acts that were there, and this is no disrespect to those guys too, because of course they have a lot of equipment. Absolutely no problem plugging all these guys in and giving them 15, 20 minutes to set their stuff up, which is normal. Like they got to get their stuff up there. They got kits, they got whatever.
yeah.
But us needing a minute and a half to plug in a mic cable was like pulling teeth. We had to talk to them like 5 times to make it happen. And then right before I went on, I was asked, "Hey, you ready to go on?" I said, "Hey, did you get those mic cables figured out yet?" "Oh shit." After the fourth time we've asked them.
Literally got him out and right. No, literally got him ready right before we went on. Right before.
That's
And then after that, we were told that you could just leave your mics up here. We're gonna keep it plugged in. Everything will be good to go for when you guys come back up. You know, I won't mess with the sound or whatever. But between some period of time between Pesto's set and my set, he had to unplug the cords and the mics. So levels were all fucked up. When I got up on stage, like I couldn't hear myself. I had to overexert. Fucking damn near lost my voice altogether.
My shit was loud as fuck.
His shit was loud. My shit was quiet. Like I said, I could barely fucking hear myself. And then I'm like, he finally gets it to where I can kind of hear myself by like the second to last song I'm doing. So I have no idea how I sounded to anybody in the crowd at all. I have
Christian
no
said the
idea.
sound quality was bad.
Yeah. So like I said, I don't know, man. Like I want to do festivals, but they need to be orchestrated and organized in a high level for me because like I don't usually ever get upset, but I get upset if my shit sounds fucked up, and my shit
Yeah.
sounded fucked up.
No, I agree 100%. There's nothing more infuriating than waiting, days or weeks. You get to the day, you're pumped. You get up there, you open the show, and me, like I open this show too, and I've had a lot of issues with some big national act shows, and all of a sudden the sound doesn't want to work correctly, and it's like, why did nobody sound check? Why is the opening act the fucking sound check? Why are any of the acts the sound check? There's wireless mics and there's wired mics, and if you're not ready for either or, then I don't know. That just seems like some elementary shit to me that you can't hook a wired up. With my girls band, I've seen people freak out about wireless when you bring a wireless and they got a board and they're like, we'll just use our mics, because they're familiar. But a wired mic, I mean, that's elementary shit. That should have been like, oh yeah, no problem. Pop, there you go. See ya. So yeah, and I just don't understand how hard it is to run a hip hop show when you just got to press play and have a microphone that comes through the PAs and it just sounds good. I just don't understand how there's so much trouble in that. It just seems like we're sabotaging.
Yeah,
Well, the other
it's
sabotage too on this one in particular was the booking was not good, in my opinion. Like there were probably 10 hip hop acts all day. Me,
I don't
Danku,
even
and
think
Force
there were.
Five.
I don't even think there were that many.
Maybe eight then.
There might have only been 5 to 6 compared to the bands. I feel like there's way more bands.
Well, because there was that chick, there was the Kid Vibe dude, there was the dude that played guitar and rapped over his stuff, there was the guy that went after him, there was Young Sage, you, me, Force Five.
Oh, yeah, so I guess you're
There
right.
was
Maybe
like
like 8.
almost, yeah, there was between 8 and 10. And then there was a shark guy that just played his tambourine and didn't do anything else but play a tambourine for 20 minutes with backing
And
track.
interrupt my set by getting people that were actually up by the stage to have him sign something of theirs when he was while I was performing, like right in front of me. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you doing, son? Fuck
Should
out
have
of
been
here.
like,
So,
let me see
and
that
then
tambourine.
the order of it was like they did like a couple of those rovers and a couple of the bands, and then I went on at like four. Well, I was supposed to go on at like 4:50. It ended up being like 6:10 because that's how far behind we ended up being. So it was way behind.
I can't
And
stand
then
it.
after me, it was like the rappers that went after me before Denku were all terrible performers. They all had backing tracks. One of the groups was a duo, and one of the guys' mics was never on the entire time. His mic was never on.
Classy.
It was just backing tracks. Yeah. And like the dude that went before us, he had probably the most egregious over vocals because his vocals on his track were max volume, like probably too loud for the mastered cut. So they were super loud, but he was able to spit like all of his stuff. So if he would have taken the vocals out, his set could have been all right. But like he had vocals on everything. Every vocal was in. It was like he was
But
playing his
he
stuff
was
off
a knob.
Spotify.
But he was a knob anyway because he left
Oh
literally
yeah,
right
he
after
was a
his set.
major knob, but it's like
Dude,
that's the
yeah,
thing
people
where
can
I'm
just
like,
walk out after their shit. That's so annoying, especially if you like literally don't have a real reason to do that, like a legit reason.
no,
You're
and that's what
you're just a
everybody
smug
there
prick.
did. Oh, Jay Burnham was another hip hop act that we had, so there was nine.
Damn, I forgot
Um,
about him because he left literally right after his shit too.
right, and that was the thing is everybody left right after their stuff except for me, Denku, and Force Five were there from the time we got there till pretty much the end of the show, and it was like I felt like the booking drove a lot of people outside for one, because there was a lot of people that were just flat out not good performers. I
Yep.
can forgive that if you're not a good performer and you still understand the professional etiquette to stick around and give the artists that are there supporting you the same support. But there was none of that respect. It was like between just me and Denku and Force Five. That was it. That was the only people that were given like genuine respect. And then some of the bands were mad dope.
Yeah,
You know, we saw
Trash
this
Pandas
band,
was cold.
the
The
Codes.
Codes were cold. There were dope bands. There were
Quick
Yeah,
definitely
they
some
were
question.
dope
really
bands.
dope bands.
Question: how many of those bands rapped over their vocals or sang over their
Zero.
vocals?
Of
Yeah,
course,
Zero.
bro.
exactly. But we're the bullies.
Right.
Like
It's
I
it's
said,
crazy.
and I hate to bring it up, because I don't want to get into that beef with all these people and stuff, and then have them yelling at me and just then I get punchy. I'm just old and I just want to rap and make music and smile. But it really comes down kind of like what Marcel P. Black when he asked AI about your post, Denku. I feel like that, and I hate AI. I think it's evil, and I think a lot of these idiots that rap over their vocals probably use it to write songs. Um, but man,
Oh my God.
did that really depict word for word what people really need to do to be better at their music? And the reason they're so high strung and ready to leave and go home and cry after their set instead of hang around and support is because they're mad that they're not willing to put in the work. It's like dealing with somebody that like expects to know how to weld but doesn't want to learn how to weld. That's what like any trade. Rap is a trade, music is a trade. You don't see
Right.
air bands, you see people playing actual notes like Warden. Does Jimmy go out there and just can you turn his mic off? It just bothers me, especially the ones like you said that don't. They're literally their mics off. What are you up there for?
Right.
And it just makes me feel like this grumpy old guy when I act like that, because I remember back when I was young too. But I'm going to be honest, 11 years ago when I had my first live show, I didn't rap over my live tracks 100%. Even then, I didn't do it, and because I learned from being a roadie with a metal band. And it was not even just through metal music. It's like nobody does that except for hip hop and maybe pop and anything else that doesn't have like actual instruments behind them. You can't get away with that. But
Well,
Yeah.
and the thing too that Denku brought up, because we talked about this while we were on, when we were between shows, and we both agreed on this. And this is the rarest breed. I've never fucking seen one of these guys at a show, but if you come to a show and you're rapping over your vocals out of ignorance and you just don't know what you're doing, I can totally forgive that. And I'm totally happy to offer the advice and whatever the fuck we need to do to get your set to the point where you're fucking spitting your shit and you got a good performance going. Because that's like, if you're going to be on a stage, you should strive to give the people a good show. No matter if you're a fucking rapper, a rock artist, a comedian, whatever it is, that should be your goal, right? Is to be good at what you're doing. Otherwise, you're right. Why are you on that stage? For just attention, but it's almost never the case with these people. It's like they know what they're doing. They just, like you said, they don't want to put in the work, and it's a shame, and it really only ends up killing them because you never see those people lasting very long.
if
But I
their
do want to
voice is
mention,
either bad, if the voices
because you
go,
brought up Jimmy from Warden, I want to
yeah.
give him a huge shout out for fucking giving me probably the coolest gift I've ever been given in this fucking awesome gold mic, the mic of thrashing, as I have dubbed it, because it feels like I was in an RPG and I just like completed a boss fight, and then Jimmy's like, "Here, you have been awarded the mic of thrashing."
I was gonna
So,
say when you hold that like outside, you probably got to watch out for lightning, even if there's no storms.
yeah,
That,
yeah,
that's
it
how
does. It feels
that's
like
how
that.
badass that mic looks.
It's heavy duty, man. It's fucking thick, thick, really nice. Cause like this is the thing. I played with it on Tuesday and it felt really good. And I was like, man, I didn't have to strain my voice at all. It was way easier for me to inflect and do stuff. So then I'm like, I'm gonna look up this mic because maybe this is the mic I'll get. And it's like a $400 mic. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like this thing is all right. No, I'm gonna have to go back to the Sures, like those are good mics. I'm like coping with myself the whole time, like, well, at least I got to try. At least I got to try the really, really crazy mic. But
Yeah.
no, Jimmy went above and beyond by giving me a really cool gift. And that's a testament to you rapping over vocals, motherfuckers. That if you work hard and you put a lot of dedication in your craft, you make those kind of connections with other artists when you perform alongside of them and you gain respect, and then cool shit like that happens.
Oh yeah. No, That's cool, man. It's a good looking mic too. It looks good on you.
I appreciate that. Now I got to get a gold pesto mask to match it.
I was gonna say that, or maybe like this gold jumpsuit or some shit. You know, look at just looking flashy, dude. No, you need to
Fuck
do is get
that,
a big,
bro. Gold
big
nipple
chain.
tassels. That's what I want.
Gold nipple tassels, yeah. And just cut the circles out of my shirt so I'm still wearing a shirt, but just have the nipples exposed with
Yes,
tassels.
yeah, it looked like a Kanye shirt or something. Oh man, that's funny
Oh
shit.
shit.
Yeah, sorry,
Oh man.
no, sorry, Kanye, if you're watching.
Diss track incoming.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that would be hilarious. I can only hope. You know what? The more I think about it after my 11 years of hip hop, nobody ever makes a diss track about me. I feel like, I mean, that's probably good, but at the same time, I'm like, eh, yeah, you know, I guess fuck. Nobody loves me enough to talk shit. You guys got all sorts of diss tracks against you. I mean, they
I'm a
suck.
dickhead though.
They
I'm a
suck.
dickhead though.
Like the one against Pesto, I was like, the guy's like, "Oh, you took 5 days to do this. I only took one." I was like, "Yeah, you should have took the other four." That shit was whack. I made it about 23 seconds in, and I literally fell out of my chair, foaming at the mouth. I was so dumb after. So I was just like, yeah, for Danielle's future sake and everybody else involved in my life, I better just pause this shit because it hurt. Like I literally felt my eye twitch. I was like, I'm like, I don't know.
I was just disappointed, man, because ultimately, like, at the end of the day, if I get to a point where I'm like wanting to fucking diss another fucking MC, and I fucking hesitate to use that word because it never seems to come to fruition that that's the case, that they are an MC. They're just a pretender. They're somebody that wants to wear the mask of a hip hop artist, but they're not ready to fucking put the work in on a mic and actually respect the craft like that. Cause it's like at the end of the day, like there's nothing I'd want more if I was dissing out a lyrical ass whipping than to get one good one back. You know, it's like
Yeah, it's
that's
Yeah.
what
basically like
that's what
in
builds the
perspectives
culture.
of boxing, you gave him a Mike Tyson uppercut, and he gave you like one of these rabbit punches like in the nipple. Like
Yeah, and it's like,
your
bro,
I listen to your song and I still listen to it now, and I'm still picking out bars from it where I'm just like, yeesh, like damn man, like no wonder why he wants to beat your ass because you said some beautiful things in such a smart way that he probably is like. You say them college words and you piss me off, man. I didn't learn about that in the can.
well, the craziest thing is he started off by saying, "Oh, that shit was weak. You didn't say nothing. I didn't
Oh,
even really need to
that's
listen to this. This ain't good." And then it was like, as
just
the
save
week progressed, he's
just
like,
save
"I
face.
can't believe you said this about me. I can't believe you said this about me." And that's another thing where it's like, I can't respect somebody that doesn't even take the time to listen to the track. You know, it's like, love me or hate me. If I make a track on you, like, if you fucking really hate me, you should listen to that shit and then fucking retort intelligently. And it's just like it's a disappointment when people aren't able to do that, you
I
know, and it
think
just doesn't seem to be
the
the
biggest
case.
thing that the three of us and a lot of other hip hop artists have is we have high expectations. And I think I'm just gonna lower them tremendously until like somebody convinces me otherwise because man, there's always these people at these shows or people, you know, like you pissed that guy off so much he ended up on our flyer talking shit, you know, like it's like who's this little ginger chicken nugget yelling at everybody saying he's gonna show up after probation and beat us up? And I'm just like, why do these people exist? Why would you take all that time to be angry instead of just taking it to be better?
Right.
That's the biggest thing that pisses me off. It's like you're gonna spend 6 hours a day bitching and talking shit and this and that and oh they hate on me and why don't you spend that time practicing?
Yeah,
How
crush us, bro.
the biggest thing I ask the rovers is how do you expect anybody else to give a shit about what you're saying if you can't even remember it? I can't be impactful to anybody if I don't even know what the hell I'm saying. You know, like, yeah, are you really about it, or can you not remember it because it's just something you did for TikTok, or you
And let
woke
me
up?
let me slap him in the face even harder because I got to witness this because I got to like this was the probably the most time me and Denku got to spend together because we rode the shows together, and got to chat afterwards, rolled back. Um, and I learned something because it's like I've done a lot of shows with Denku. I know he's a freestyle machine. Like his freestyles are as good as they come. You know, I don't see anybody that like there's other people that spit dope like that too, but like he's on that level with anybody.
Yeah.
Um, after he spit some shit on stage, even through all the anger and stuff like that, when he got off like 30 minutes later, he's like, yo, I was saying some crazy shit. I said this, I said that. And I'm like, this motherfucker remembers his freestyle bars 20 minutes later? And these rovers can't even remember a song they fucking wrote and listened to 1,000 times? What are you
Yeah.
doing?
The fact that Denku can listen to 10 different things, say them, and then say them backwards, that type of shit might short circuit a rover. You know, like, I think that's what pisses him off so much is like, I don't know. It's just, I think it's so much harder for people just to suck it up and say you're right. Maybe, I should do this or that. And it's easier just to, it's more simple to just get mad and say, you know what? I'm going to kick your ass instead. But the worst part about
That's the
that
thing
type
that's
of
crazy to me
mentality
too, is
is
like
the people that can't even fight. It's like you probably fight over your vocals too. Like, I mean, like you have somebody there that fights for you. I mean, I
well, the
don't
thing
know.
that's crazy to me is because so like when I first met Denku and saw his live performance, the initial response that I had internally was, "Holy shit, the ceiling for this is way higher than I thought it was." You know, like this is a guy like because I'd been performing with like Space Case and you and people that are what high tier performers, very entertaining acts, and then Denku comes in and is both as provocative, but then has all these other little layers and stuff, and like keeps adding more and more shit to his performance and show. And it's Denku's been doing this for 25 years, and he's still dedicating more time to add new shit to his arsenal to put on a better performance. That to me is like the most inspirational shit to get as like an MC, to have people like that around you that keep fucking pushing themselves further. And then it's like, man, I want to fucking get better. I want to start freestyling. I want to start learning how to do this shit. Like that shit's fucking cold. I want to learn how to, I don't know how other people don't get that emotion out of being around people that are doing shit that's crazy like that.
It's because they don't do it for the art. They
No,
want
that's a
to
good part.
they
Yeah,
want to be famous like their favorite rappers. They want to have the lifestyle that their favorite rappers have. They want to be able to fuck groupies in the green room, get high as fuck, rent out entire hotel floors, and like spank girls up and down the hallway. They want to do dumb shit like that so they can act like they're a fucking rock star. The reality of it is there's that fucking 0.1% of motherfuckers that are actually going to make it to that level. You could do music full time. You could
yeah,
do that. That can be a reality. You could do that. But probably less than 1% of, because now everyone's a rapper, less than 1% of all you fucking rappers even have a possibility. It's like winning the lottery to be a celebrity. So what the
yeah.
fuck are you even trying to chase after is what I'm wondering.
I think that's where a lot of the anger comes in too, because you don't have your heart into it, and you are pissed that that fake it till it make it shit isn't really working. And when that shit, you like, I always tell everybody, you can try this and you can try to be that, but when you get up on the stage, that's your moment. And if you can't shine there, then every fucking thing else you've been talking about and you have and your shiny chains and your millions of views and your Spotify, none of that means a fucking thing. At least to me, it doesn't, because it's like
No, none of that means anything.
that's what I'm saying. Like, and you see, and then they get mad when, like, oh, you don't got the views, you don't got the followers, you don't got this, you don't got that. That's the misconception of these social media era rappers. A lot of us started before Facebook was relevant. A lot of us have been doing and, put our heart into the art side of it, and that's what's missing from a lot of these other people. And I feel like that's why they're so quick to get mad instead of take constructive criticism, because That's what it is. It's like we're kindly saying, you know, this will help, you know, because you are representing us as well, because we are all, no matter how many genres of hip hop there are, you know, you two do music completely different than I do. But when I do my music, you and me are all representing the same genre to some people. They look at
Yes.
Pesto rap as just as different, you know, it's the, oh, that's the same as B Kupps rap. And so even though we don't, maybe a lot of us don't network together and work together, there is like literally only one genre that they see when you go to live shows, and it's rap or hip hop. And so we are representing each other. If you know, no matter where you are in what state and what county, and that's the biggest thing. It's the me. You ask a lot of these people that probably rap over the vocals, what are three things you want when you probably, you know, if you ever get rich, what would you buy? It's probably a chain, a fancy car, and you know, nobody's thinking about their family, nobody's thinking about their friends, nobody's thinking about making an impact in their local community with the homeless or none of that shit. And that's hip hop. Hip hop is telling your story where you came from, no matter which way you tell it, you know, it's your story. And then when you do get that status, like the Nas's and the Tupacs and the shit that those people that actually made it, they, you know, like take that stardom and use it for a good purpose. And that's what I feel like a lot of these people that rap over their vocals, they all have this image of TikTok rappers, and they see this flashy social media side of shit, and that's not real life. Every single artist I know who's doing well also works a full-time job. They also have other shit going on. It's not just this, you know, I turned Facebook on and I'm a rapper today, you know, it's, oh yeah, this is cool. All right, Facebook's off. Now I'm going to go back to whatever it is I really am. You know, that's what bothers me the most. And I see it like, and I'm not going to name names and shit, but I've seen it in some of the last shows I've seen. And it's, to me, it's just, it's the best word I can come up with is corny. It's corny. It's so fucking corny. I don't even want to address it anymore. I don't even want to like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because it takes away from your energy, it takes away from Denku's energy, it takes away from all of our energy to be like who we are, and what we're doing is actually impactful. And I feel like as long as we just fucking keep on our path, fuck the rest of these people. If you don't want to listen up to a little constructive criticism and it twists your little vagina up in a ball, well then I'm sorry, you know, moving on, you know, because I'd rather put my energy into building my friends up that give a fuck, like you two and a lot of other artists in Wisconsin, you know, like, especially if shit starts popping out for me, I want to give it to people that care, not people that don't, you know.
Right.
I feel that.
That was another cool thing because like we outside of like, you know, the festival where we're obviously brushing elbows there, the other two shows that we did this past week between Chicago and then Marquette were both very, the culture was alive and well, you know, and in Chicago, shout out to Shadow Master. He was on the chat. He was one of our first guests. For first, they wouldn't let me in with the mask. Security wouldn't let me in with the mask, so I wasn't gonna go in. Shadow Master pulled some strings, got me in there. Um, I got to perform. It was really, really dope place. Really, a lot of dope people. DJ Kid Solo from Microphone Misfits, Annihilation, and Shadow Master, the host of the event. But at the end, they do a cipher, and anybody that wants to get up there can get the mic. And they talk about the rules that if you start spitting and the crowd ain't feeling it, they're gonna count you down. And when they're done counting you down, you got to pass the mic. You're done. And he said,
Yeah,
and if that hurts your feelings when that happens, then you probably shouldn't be doing this. And that was one of the most profound and true statements. And it applies to not just that cipher, but it applies to anybody putting art out there. If you aren't willing to take the criticism, then maybe it's not for you to be putting it out there to be criticized, because that's going to happen no matter what level you're on. You know, it's
yeah,
like if you do get to that level of the biggest of the big, those people are getting criticized at a higher level than any of us. So it's like, no matter what, you got to be doing it for the art if you're going to survive. Because if you aren't, you're going to get eaten alive out there. Um, and then shouts to Marquette because we had no idea what to expect out there.
Oh,
We were unfamiliar with the opening acts, and not anymore, man.
yeah, it was cold. It was also
It was
literally
dope.
cold as well, but it was cold.
yeah.
It was.
That's fucking awesome, man.
Describe
And
that
no,
venue, Denku. That was one of the most
And
obscure but dope
it's
venues.
super cool. So like I go in to check it out before we even pull up to the venue because we had gotten a hotel out there or whatever, and um I wanted to roll up and find where the venue was, so we kind of had an idea. And then when we got there, I walked in, said what's up to the I don't really know what you call, because it's like a coffee shop venue that
Barista?
state is that what she would be called?
I
Barista?
think so. I think she'd be a
Yeah, so like
barista.
coffee shop, but also serves alcohol. But they, it's good. So it's two levels. The downstairs is where the performance area is, and then there's where you get your drinks, and then there's the upstairs, but there's a hole cut in it so people can look down while you're performing from upstairs too.
Huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was super dope.
That's
Uh,
pretty cool, actually.
like
Yeah.
like the vibe was cool, and I noticed when I did, what was it, Pesto? Follow my lead, I think.
You
I think what
follow
I
my lead and stand back.
Yeah, like
Like all the crowd interaction songs.
follow my lead for sure. I remember hearing people say follow my lead from up top. Like I heard them, like they were like right
Yeah.
there. You know what I'm saying? Um,
It was loud. It was like and the cool thing too is like, so the opening act, his name was Gurko, and he had Sinful Jebediah on the decks behind him, who was a producer who was 19-year-old kid with mad hip hop knowledge,
yeah,
like
we're
really,
we're
really
we're
deep
we're getting
respect for
we're
the
getting
craft.
beats from him. He's crazy
Yeah,
nice.
he's fucking crazy nice with it. And we were talking to them before the show because they're like, yeah, we got we got a good crowd coming out for the show. And Denku's like, well, what do you think about like after you guys are done, you think they're gonna leave? Because he was trying to figure out the order. Because it was like if that would be the case, we would have just had me open, had them go second, and Denku headline it. But he's like, nah, man. He's like, these people will stick around. I'm almost certain they'll stick around. And he wasn't fucking kidding. I
They
don't think a
did.
single person that
They
was in there
stayed till the
left.
end.
They all stayed till the end. I even had a dude that was sitting at the fucking bar drew this shit while I was performing. Like
Nice.
it was like one of the most artistic vibes of all time. You know,
Yeah,
I heard a chick go up to the counter when we were setting up stuff, and she asked the barista, she's like, what's going on? And she's like, they're doing music. And she's like, do you know what kind of genre? And she goes, I think it's like they're rapping or something. And she's like, oh, cool. You know, and it was like, she did not look like she was somebody that was a hip hop head. And I don't think she was, but it was that kind of college town culture where they're just like entertainment, cool,
Yeah, it's a
like,
respect too, because as long as you're a good person as a musician, you should be respected. As long as you're a
correct.
respectable person. That's what I think is different from now. This is the third open consumption weed event I've been to that I've noticed, and especially now 2.5 years sober from alcohol. Um, Man, there isn't a more beautiful energy in a building full of people that there's some people drinking. Don't get me wrong. There's people drinking there, no, but it's everybody there. It's like pushing weed. It's like this beautiful thing where everybody there
mm,
is just, I don't know. They paid attention. They cared. Every artist got love. There wasn't anybody that left early from the fucking 5 p.m. when I opened
that's
until
dope.
midnight or until like 10, 11 when Cottonmouth Kings got on. It only got more and more crowded. It never was dead. There was people that actually gave a shit, chilled, nice. There's not one single altercation or fight. And I'm talking for all three events now I've been to. Like one had 1,000, one had about 600, and this one I'd say they had over 300 tickets sold plus all the people there. So let's just say 400 people, and not one fucking altercation, not one fight, not one dipshit up by the stage fucking heckling or saying, "Oh, next act," blah. And I've noticed that I'm like, man, maybe it's just coincidence, but I think alcohol, in these bars and stuff, and maybe we need to take our music and shit elsewhere. You notice like that's just where we're stuck as musicians, is bars, 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 and it's like alcohol driven.
Well,
And
well,
I want
I,
to start doing these festivals, man, where it's just like
well,
where
yeah,
people are there for the music.
yeah, but that's the thing though. Like we can do that, and I would love to do that. Like I used to have conversations with my dude Carnage all the time about how we want to do inside big ass music studio shows and art galleries and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like we wanted to do shit like that. He had these ideas to do that and stuff like and stuff, but a lot of motherfuckers that come to shows are literally just there to get fucked up. And it's fucked up though that's what it is. They're not there for the art, and that hurts an artist. I don't think they know that or even give a fuck that it does.
Yeah.
But real quick, man, congrats to you on the 2 years, man. That's super dope. I want to shout that out real quick.
Yeah,
Hell
no,
yeah.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's been 2.5 years now. December 22nd, 2021 is when I quit.
That's
That's
what's
dope.
up. That's what's up, man. There is Amy in the chat actually wanted us to touch on how working a 9 to 5 allows artists to be able to, or how working a 9 to 5 also allows artists to fund touring, merch, videos, and etc. like that. Like if we could touch or
I
talk
can
about
speak on
that.
that with a real quick thing, like, cause, and like I said, I don't want to speak names, but if people are listening and it means something to you, listen up, because like I said before, I don't know a single successful artist that doesn't have a full-time job that isn't, that next tier where they got a gig every week, they're getting paid and they don't have to do anything else, or their merch sales are like in the thousands and they don't have to do anything else. But every other gigging artist, that I know that's successful works a full-time job, or their lady or somebody like, because I see a lot of it out there where these artists think that no, 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 I'm not a serious artist unless I just do music. I just need to do music. It's music or nothing. I don't have time for that. I'm a serious artist. No, you're not. You're not a serious artist. If what I see with these kind of people that don't work 9 to 5s also is they stress about their music. And for me, speaking from my personal experience, music is my way away from all that bullshit. It
I
takes
feel
me
you.
away from the 9 to 5 life. It takes me away from the things I'm dealing with in my personal life and my own personal shit. And that's where I am shining in my brain and I'm not thinking about anything else that would normally, those I'm alone at night type of thought type bullshit. You don't think about that because you're shining. And I think a lot of these artists that don't work also and just rely 100% on their music, they turn that music escape into a stressor. You literally created a box of stress that, oh man, I've spent $1,000 on merch and nobody's buying my merch and like that. What? It's not about making money. I've some of the coolest fucking shows I've performed as an artist. I didn't make a dollar getting there. It's just like if you can get me there and I don't have to lose money, I'm gonna put on the best fucking show I can for you. And like I said, without speaking on names of certain things and getting into certain issues, that's why I backed out of that tour, because I looked at the value of me and what I offer to a show, and I look at the value of what someone's trying to tell me they're offering me. And when it doesn't make sense and I can't make it make sense, I just have to move on, like, because we're
Yeah.
all at that point in our careers where I'm, I'm not going to give you my fucking heart and soul on that stage for free. Like I can't, I'm not gonna or pay you. Like I'm not paying to play anymore. I mean, so anybody who's watching this that's a pay to play promoter, like I'm not doing that shit anymore. Yeah, I'm past that level. A lot of us are past that level because we've spent thousands of dollars to be where we're at 10 years later, or Denku's, two of my lifetimes of hip hop, and Pesto, you're probably at the 5 year mark, 6 year mark right now.
5, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that's what it is. It's like it's Pesto, me, and Denku. It's like three evolutions of hip hop, and we're all at those stages right now where we get it and we see what we offer to it and what we see others taking away from what we offer. And like I said, that's where I like it's a perfect question for Amy because I see it in a lot of art. Almost every artist I see that relies 100% on their music is failing as a human being. 'Cause you took the one chance you had to escape this human bullshit life we all have. All of us have bullshit, and you took that one opportunity to escape with your art, and you turned it into another stressor. And that's why you're a little twat that fucking leaves shows early and doesn't support the rest of the artists, even if you had a shitty. You know, does anybody want to tell me about fucking people walking out during sets? Have you ever been to a B Kupps show? I mean, that was literally 3 years of my career was laughing at me, people walking out, people not taking me serious because of what I talk about and not respecting the craft that I put, you know, that I could fucking drop the beat and I can still do my whole album. I don't need that beat. I remember every fucking lyric and I can still make it sound good on a acapella, just like you two can. And that's where it came down to. It's like people trying to whine to me about, oh, I don't get respect. People, you know, like, fuck you. You know, like I did it right and I still got disrespected for years.
Hmm.
So don't think doing it wrong is gonna make me fucking feel any pity for you. You know, I hope you get shit. And then maybe one day you'll grow up and fucking realize that we're all doing it to better you, to better us, to better everybody. And you know, like I said, it's just that's where it comes down to my expectation levels. This is what it used to be. And then 2024, I'm like, nah, fuck everybody. I'm just about being the best person I can be
I feel you.
with people I'm around, and that's it. That's it.
Yeah,
So
man.
you
My one thing I wanted to say, touch on the 9 to 5, um, and getting merch and stuff like that is I remember the first conversation I had with Fredro Star on the phone before I got down with 100 Mad, and I had told him because I didn't know what he expected me to say to him, right? Like we just had a conversation and he wanted to have a full conversation on the phone about getting down on the label shit after we had already did the song and the video or whatever for Follow My Lead. And then, after I had did that song, that's when he hit me back. And I didn't think it was real at first. I thought it was some bullshit, but that's when he hit me back and he was kind of like, hey, so we're starting a brand label. Like we want to start pushing artists that we fuck with, that we think, you know, got like a vibe that fucks with our vibe. So we wanted you to get down and shit. And then we had this conversation. I remember saying to him, yeah, man, I'd probably be further ahead. I'd probably be further ahead as an artist if I was able to do music full time. But I got to do this fucking bullshit job because I got kids, I got my family and stuff like that. So I got to be able to work around all that, try to get merch and stuff like that and do it all independently myself. He was like, nah, don't ever get rid of that. He was like, before we blew up, before Jam Master Jay recognized us, I was working at a barbershop doing music.
yeah,
So, even the legends today have their story. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he was like, nah, don't think that you have to quit your job. He said, I commend people that are able to keep a full-time job because music don't offer motherfuckers insurance. You know what I'm
no,
saying? Like there ain't no insurance for a musician. So yeah, it was definitely a humbling thing for him to say that to me when we had the conversation. So yeah, I also think that it's a good look for people um that are doing music to have a full-time gig and then find their time to be able to do their shit properly, especially if you're going to try to do this as an independent artist. And let's be honest, that's the way to go now. Like
yeah,
like
absolutely.
labels ain't doing nothing but fucking people over now. Like they're not helping. I mean, I'm not saying they were not helping, but they will not help you without getting their money. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not going to bring them the money they expect from you, you're not going to make it with them. That's how labels are today. It's the whole, I've talked about it on other podcasts. It's the whole 360 idea. And that's the formula that major and big labels use today with younger artists. And then younger artists sign these deals with these labels and they think that they made it because the label advanced them $100,000 or $1 million or whatever. Like Pesto had even told me, I didn't even know because I don't really follow the Danny Brown artist situation, but
Yep.
apparently there's a thing where Danny Brown is on one of those labels, obviously did some kind of 360 deal situation. He spent 70 grand to put out his record and only made 7,500. And that's why you don't hear shit from him, because he still has to recoup all that money that the label gave him in advance to put out his album.
Yeah, that's the part they leave out, and a lot of artists, they are all talking about, I'm next up, I'm next up. Good luck with that, because you ain't gonna read the fine print most likely. You're just gonna sign yourself a deal that puts you in, okay, I got $1 million, signing bonus, but you don't read the fine print that says if you don't produce $1 million in sales, you gotta pay that shit back. And a lot of these artists, like I don't follow them either, but I heard the story about that Lil Uzi Vert dude with the diamond with the big jewel on his head. He did one of those deals on his first tour, and the tour made 45 million. He made 800 grand.
Yeah, that's
Make that make sense. And it was because these people are so young and dumb and don't realize that they're industry plants. You know, I can't imagine some of these artists that are real shit, that are making millions of views and all this stuff, and really like, are they looking themselves in the mirror at the end of the day and wondering like, how is this working? And I've said this for years now. It's if it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't even come down to just being like an angry twat. But if you look at an artist and they really, really are just nothing about them that screams like, what the fuck? Why are they famous? It's because they're an industry plant, man. It's plain and simple to see that the industry of like signing artists is dying. People are coming wise to that shit. Some successful hip hop artists, all genres, are independent now. They realize they don't need that fucking signature from some corporate exec somewhere in an office. And I feel like that's why they're trying to ruin hip hop by putting out these little crap rappers and making them famous right off the bat. And then people that have no conscious ability to make their own thoughts, they're like, yeah, that's good.
mhm.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's not even, you consciously don't even make the decision to like that person. They make it for you. And I think that's what's ruining hip hop in certain ways, and also allowing, like we were touching on earlier with the rovers and the people with the mentality like, oh no, no, I'm gonna quit my job because this is what I want to do. Like I said, I think it all hand in hand is something that I think we all maybe should try to deal with on a different level if it comes down to it, because obviously telling them the truth hurts. I just don't know how else we can deal with it, because it's hard to not be in the scene, and see it all the time.
Yeah,
You know,
man.
and I hate, and I know we all, people think we're bullies for bringing it up, but every single one of us on this podcast right now has done a show where we're just like, what the hell was that? And you kind of want to coach them, but at the same time, like at this point, like I said, 11 years in, I just give up. I officially give up on every single artist except for the ones that don't need giving up on. Like I
Well,
give up. I'm no longer a mentor.
so
The comedic value is the one thing that like saves it a little bit for me. And it's not worth it, but it's like a coping mechanism. Like talking to IB Bumpin and Nate Nasty of Lobotomized Geniuses, in the Two Face chat, we talked about they had a show that same day and we talked about it, and it's funny because there was a guy at this show that was one of the worst. He had his face all painted up, crazy,
he
and
was he was
he was
on some
horrible.
Juggalo shit.
He was horrible. And he had this song called Body Bag Swag. And I was outside and I could hear it. And I remember IB Bumpin' telling me that he performed with one of the worst performers he's ever seen in his life. And he told me about that song. And then it came full circle that this was that fucking guy. And he was at this show now. And I had to play with him. And he went on after me. It was like, God damn, dude, what the fuck? So I was talking to Bumpin' and them, and he's just like, yo, he's like, Pesto Man, he kept spamming smoke screen, which is go outside for a cigarette. And I was like, yeah, I used 18 of my 20 PP on that move. If I would have ran out of it, those rovers would have started doing some serious damage to the equilibrium in my brain, because it really does. It's like, and this was the coolest thing. The other cool thing that we forgot to mention about that festival is that we were sitting we had our merch set up probably 2:30,
Yeah.
pretty early in the festival, and there was a bunch of Rover rap going on. And when it was going on, there was people that were clearly not there for the hip hop side of things. They were there for the rock side of things that were walking past the table that would see the Stop Rapping Over Vocal shirts. And they all came up to us and were like, that's fucking awesome. Like, that's
Yeah,
great.
they did.
And it's like for people of a different genre to be able to pick that out so easily, because another excuse I hear a lot of the time is people don't care. People don't care. I'm like, what a shitty thing to assume of people that are spending money to come and see you, that they don't care. Because
Yeah.
you're going around and saying they care enough to come see you, but they don't care about the quality of the product that you're putting on. That's really selfish. That's saying that you just want your friends and family's money. At that point, you should just be one of those people that's constantly posting their Cash App tag on Facebook and saying, please send me money.
Send me
Because
coins.
yeah, send me Bitcoins.
Send me
Be
stock.
that guy. I have more respect for that guy just trying to jukes and fucking just be open about this is what I want. I just want money. And if you guys want the fucking
Yeah.
weird, gross groupies, Danku saw this firsthand. Get a weird mask like this with a beak on it, and you'll have all of the like weird, gross, greasy hag puss you could ever want. They all want
Yeah.
to ride the beak. It's never
And that's
someone that's
exactly
like,
what they say. That's the crazy part
yes.
about it. Pestilence told me they come up to him and they're like, God, can I ride the beak? I'm like, bro, what? That somebody said that shit to you? And he's
That's
like,
why you have to
yes.
wear the mask for protection.
Yes.
Like, what the
Because
fuck?
it forces them to stay back at least a foot from your
That crowd
face.
was crazy enough that Denku got heckled going outside.
Wow.
Wait,
Yeah.
which one you talking about?
Uh-oh.
The same crowd. Remember when you went out with your merch and then one guy asked you if you had sideburns
Oh yeah, this
on your
guy asked me
balls?
if I had sideburns on my nuts.
And then when we
Check
went
my
out later, because he
check
told me
And
my
about
then
it,
own
and then
and
we
then when we take the
only
merch
thing.
when we take the merch out, he's like, I bet you do.
Sideburns.
I bet you do. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? And then this one guy keeps following. She's like, you got a body in there? You got a body in there? I'm like, bro, get the fuck away from me. The fuck is
Like,
wrong with y'all, motherfucker?
what is how does one have like what's the point of having sideburns on your nuts? I'm curious. Like, where does that come from?
how do you
Is that,
associate that with
He's,
Denku's persona at all?
is
he's
that how
trying
That's
that
to
something
how
you pick
ra-
up?
that we open
he's
the
trying
conversation?
the hold on
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow,
it's crazy. It's
that's
actually really
that's the
funny to me
icebreaker.
that B Kupps is trying to break down why anybody would have sideburns on their nuts. I don't know either. I have no fucking idea. It's hilarious to me.
The only other time I've heard that in my life was on that Bulletproof movie when he's watching porn. He's like, it's so old, the guy had sideburns on his nuts. So then maybe is he calling you old? I mean, that's the only thing I could say. Was he old or young? Was he just something like young dude or what? I
No, he
don't
was an
get it.
older dude. He was probably older than
Yeah.
me.
Wow. Yeah, that's I don't know. You should dude, from now on, you should just pepper spray people like that. Because that's sexual misconduct, man. I'd be like, he's look rapey. I don't know, man. If I've never
Well,
talked
if
to you my entire life and the first thing you say to me from human being to human being is like, you got sideburns on your balls, I'd be like, fuck.
dude, if
What is
hip hop had an HR department, the amount of Me Too complaints that Pesto could file is it's absurd, bro.
actually, yeah, you're lucky there's no HR department because man, yeah, well, I know a few people that'd be in trouble, especially that weirdo with the bald head and red beard. But just some of the things you said that like would hurt feelings, man. You battle rappers out there, you guys would have a lot of HR problems. Me,
Well,
I do
that, but
too.
I also get them. I receive the sexual comments from many and all sizes. And it's like I'm not asking for this. I walked outside one time during the festival, and one chick said she wants your beak, and then the one chick said, "I mean your mask," and then the other chick said, "I don't," and then I looked and I was like, "Ooh," like they all do, you know.
Man,
Ooh.
That
Fucking
that's
that noise as a response is the funniest shit of the whole night.
yeah.
I think that's all you need to do is make that noise.
It
And I think,
worked. It 100% shut them down, and then they started trying to shit talk me.
oh yeah, dude, as soon as you shut them down, they're probably like, oh, your fucking eyes are too dark. Loser.
No, they had really bad. They're like, "What are you supposed to be, a pelican?" And I
Oh
was like, "Yep."
man, this one guy, after I got off stage, bro, you know what I'm talking about.
I'm talking about wheelchair man. You're talking about
Man,
wheelchair
yeah,
man.
yeah. So this guy, he literally was in a wheelchair half the night, and then he like gets up and goes to talk to the green jello merch table for like an hour and a half. I'm like, how the fuck are you still standing up, bro? Like you were in a wheelchair like that half the fucking time. And now you're just standing up. And then after I get off stage, he comes up to me and he's like, "You, I just want to let you know you're very talented. But you, uh, what were you doing? Why were you up there? And the fucking mask. Like the fucking mask is a wrestler wore that mask
Yeah, Martin
way
Skrull
from way
from
back in
New
the day."
Japan Wrestling.
And this other person wore that mask, and then this other person wore that mask, and how is that an original gimmick? And blah blah blah, and what? Like he's just going on this rant of all this
He was
shit.
tearing me a new one, bro. It
It
was the
it
funniest shit
it was
ever.
crazy, and like I don't even know what to say to this dude. I'm just like, yeah, yep, yeah, okay,
huh.
okay. Like don't even know what to say to this dude. And then literally after that, he walks to the back room and he sits at these fucking tables in the back room by where like they got like this kids area. There was no kids back there. That would have been kind of fucked up. But he goes to sit back by there by himself. And he just sits down. He's staring back over at me and Pesto. You didn't
Huh.
notice that, Pesto? Did you notice that?
I did not. No, I did not
Bro,
see
he
him. I
went
tried to put
back.
him
He
out of
went
my
all
mind.
the way to the back, sat down there, and literally is looking at us the entire fucking time. Like, you won't
He was
stop
just
looking.
mad that I existed, man. He was not happy that I existed.
I just don't understand what's people's prerogative. Like, what makes you want to be such a foul person to other people? I can understand if Pesto, like, if you were a dick, like if you just walked in and were like spilling drinks with your nose and shit, like poking eyes out. You know, you got one of your balls hanging out of your zipper or something, and you're like, fuck it, you know, but you're a really nice guy, and all you want to do is wear a mask in a bar so you can uphold your image, your artistry, you know, like,
Bro,
and people want to
and
give you
that's the
shit.
thing. This was the first venue that I got to give big shout out to the bartender that they did as a bartender what you should do and what I would do. So as performers, we got wristbands. They give us a couple drink chips, right? So I go up there and I'm just like, I'm a performer. I just need a wristband. And she goes, I need to see your ID and I need to see your face. And I said, well, I don't need to drink. And she said, okay, well, then I'm just going to give you a kid wristband and you're good to go. That is how you handle your fucking business. Because I've had both sides of the spectrum. I've had in Chicago, the person wouldn't even let me in. Almost every other venue I've been to doesn't even card me. They just give me drinks immediately, which is also like, not going to complain because I'm 29, so you're not fucked. But it's like, if I was a bartender, like I'd at least check my ID. I'd at least look at that. And it's like for me, it's like, yeah, what I'm doing is more important than needing to have a drink at any time. So I'm like, yo, I don't need to have a drink. I don't care. So if that's ever the case, it's like that's fine. It doesn't bother me. You're doing your job. I respect that. It's like it is wild to see because on the other end of the spectrum between this show and then the Sturgeon Bay show and the Looney show that we did, those were three shows that we did that were all ages shows. And all three of those shows proved that just like fucking old dirty bastard said about the Wu-Tang, is that Pesto's for the children. Like there's at every one of those shows, there was a kid that just fucking loved everything about what I was doing, how I looked, everything. And it's like at every show now, I throw out Pokemon cards that I write random shit on and sign them all uniquely. I throw them out during one of my songs. The kids fucking love that shit. One of the kids in Sturgeon Bay, like copped all the merch. He came up to me later in the show with a quarter and was like, "Yo, is there anything I can get from your table for this?" So it's like, "Yo, you are getting the best value for that quarter that anyone's ever gotten at my merch table. You're getting all kinds of shit. What do you not have?" And I just hooked him up because it's like that's what it's about, is like the passion of the next generation. I'm always down to pass that on to like kids that like recognize and see the real artistry. And it's like I was talking to Christian today and I was like, man, outside of the mask, it's kind of crazy that these young kids just attach to it. In a lot of cases, their parents do too, because they see their kid getting down, the parent comes up, and then the parent gives me really dope feedback too, and was like, yo, that was really, really fucking dope. Like that was cool. Like you're saying a lot of fucking really intricate, deep shit. But I also say some pretty fucking wild and obnoxious and fucked up shit. I rap about some wild shit. So it's like I was telling Christian, I was like, man, some of my songs are definitely not for the children, but like it's no
No, but
different than fucking
these are
people growing up
images,
on
man.
Eminem and growing up on different shit. It's just the image of the person behind it, and that's how I look at it. Is like afterwards, those kids come up, and it's like to be just a real person and be approachable and be not a dickhead. Because it's like I don't care about the stardom of any of this shit. If I did, I would never wear a fucking mask. I'm there to do the art, and when I see like the pureness of a child appreciating it, like they're fucking interacting. They're in the front. Like during Denku's set, almost everybody was sitting down. All the kids there were front fucking center
Oh yeah,
going nuts. They
interacting,
fucking
going
loved it.
crazy. The object freestyle, they're grabbing crazy objects and shit. I don't know where they're getting these colorful feathers. They just randomly showed up. Fucking shits all
They're
over the
saying
place.
back the fuck up, back the
They
fuck up.
were. They were
Yeah,
saying it.
That's
yes,
Dad right behind them. Like, yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
I,
see,
I
I'm noticing that the older I get in my career too, like, and with my new album coming out, 6 of the 9 songs could be on the radio. I don't swear in them, and don't get me wrong, they're not bad songs because I know some of the people that are diehard like pervy rap fans of mine are like, ooh, sometimes when people take a different direction, it doesn't actually. Well, I'm like, no, I've always been what I'm about to show you, but I've always had fun being what you've known, and but I think like this new album is going to help me separate myself that way and show that, like, yeah, like I said, 2/3 of my album I can sing and I can rap and perform in front of children now. I couldn't do that before comfortably and be proud of it, and now I'm about to be, and it's so important, those moments that's true. It shows how you are as your character too, Pesto. It's not that, just the kids, they see that mask and they come over and you're a good person. So that's what makes the mask cool too, is who you are as a person. Like Denku too. The reason the people that actually know hip hop that respect him is because he's a good fucking dude. That's what my post, if you saw on B Kupps like a week or so ago, like, I don't care about anything else if you're an unlikable person. There's
Right.
nothing you can do to impress me if you're an unlikable person. And I think that's what it comes down to, is you both are really likable people, so the kids see that MC in both you and the mask, and that's cool. I mean, that's where I want to be with that's my goal this year, is when this new album comes out. I want kids to come up and be like, wow, that was really cool, blah, 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 like,
that's what's
to
up.
be proud of it. Because I've had it before, but I was not proud of it because I was like, you should not be listening to what I'm saying, but I appreciate you like that I'm up on stage being crazy, so, but now, like I said, that's what's cool, is you two have music that you can be proud of when families hear it, your own families hear it, other families hear it. That's what I'm striving to be as late in my career right now, is kind of like ending on a good note, and not to say I'm quitting anytime soon, but I don't want to be remembered forever and ever as the guy who wrote the song about eating ass so well. Like the pigeonhole booty hole guy. Like, I want to get past that with B Kupps. I want B Kupps to be like, oh, he has some really inspiring shit, and he also had some really wild nights. Like,
Yeah, and he also wrote about it wasn't just about buttholes, it was about masturbation as much as it was buttholes.
yeah,
You know,
and if anything,
that's
if you look at the
self-love.
deeper side of it, I'm trying to help you help yourself.
Right.
It's an
Yeah. Teach a
instruction
man to
manual.
fish.
You
Teach
woke
a
up
man to
one day.
fish.
But
Teach a man to
that's
fish.
yeah, it's just feeding geese.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh
No,
shit,
actually, that's what
man.
it was. It's like I'm just feeding geese.
Yeah, feed the geese.
But no, like I said, that's what's cool. It's really cool to hear that you guys had those interactions because I had a 17-year-old kid in Ohio. I drove Big Buck Beezy out to Ohio just on a whim. He asked if I could drive him. He don't have a license, and because I drove him out there, he gave me 2 songs on his set. I didn't ask for it, didn't expect it. It's not my crowd, I thought, but my music's kind of universal. So I did a dirty one and then I did the smoke, drink, and kick it with my friends. And I got so much respect from these people. It was crazy. And I almost started tearing up when I had a father-son come up to me. This guy's like, hey, I got a 17-year-old right here. This is his first show he's ever been to with live music. And before he could say anything else, I just said, I just want to apologize to you that you had to see me because the first thing I did was I'm gonna teach you how to fuck. And but no, I could see in this kid's fucking eyes that no matter where he goes with his life, I had sparked something in his little young brain, and he could not stop smiling at me the entire night after I performed. And the beauty of it was in Ohio, out of the 150 people there, only 3 knew who I was before I got there. I was able to just exist. Nobody knew me as B Kupps. Nobody knew me as anything besides Beezy's driver and merch guy. So it was cool to see like the reason I almost teared up is because it made me think of the time my dad took me to a Coal Chamber concert when I was 14, the first time I ever went to a live show, and he hated metal music. So it was cool to see that this dude brought his son out to a country rap show because his son likes country rap, and just so happened to see my weird ass not singing anything about mudding country shit, anything. I just go up there talking about I'm gonna teach you how to fuck and put a finger in your butt, and then like I said, I can't wait till my music makes sense with those conversations, at least to me.
You just
You know,
sparked something that I have to give you as a potential recommendation, and you don't have to run with this. But hearing you just say your lyrics in a deadpan voice, if you got on a big chair in a velour robe and read them like a story as like a clip, I feel like that would go viral.
that's fuck yeah, like a kind of
It
like
could.
story time with
Like
B
Grandpa
Kupps.
B Cups is
It
like,
could. And,
ooh,
and just do them in shorts because short, like the short clips is what's popping now. So just do like little short clips of them and then
It's
post
true,
them up.
yeah, 'cause they say like 6 to 8 second increments. Even if you're doing like say a 30-second video, cut it into 6 to 8 second increments because all these short span, these TikToks and all that shit. That's why they do that. It's because we get bored. Our dumb little brains are like next, next. So that's actually hilarious. I could have like instead of doing a CD release party, I can have a fucking story time with B Kupps for party, and I'll just read my whole album to people like a book. Oh, that's genius, dude. Or at least I come out on stage and be like, y'all ready for
eat the
story
pussy up,
time, man?
eat the pussy up.
Hey, why do you
It's a
think
snack.
though? Why do you think though, B Cubs? Why do you think attention spans have gotten shorter? Because I still have a big attention span. I could still listen to 3 verse songs. I could still listen to full albums and enjoy them. But what do you think was it the constant feeding of the short videos? Is that what got kids to, or the younger generation to dumb down their attention spans? Like, where does that shit come from, do you think? Because I'm still trying to figure it out. I can't really understand how at the snap of a finger attention spans died completely. Like, it's crazy how fast it happened.
I think we can sum it up in one word: Adderall. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Just like I feel like the whole it has everything to do with our we have so much available in our current time in evolution that we expect it all so fast and so readily. You think about like 100 years ago, people they might have just fucking rolled a log outside for 6 hours and that was fun. I'm not being a dick. I'm just saying like they would go outside and do whatever it may be,
I've
and it
done
was
some log rolling in my days.
you know what I'm saying,
I've
just like anything. You
I've
go out
never
and
rode a log ever.
You
Ever.
never
Ever in
stood
my
on one
life.
of those logs?
I've
You're like,
never
you
yeah,
gotta
I'm just
rolled
you
gonna
I've
got
kind of.
never rolled a log. You've
I was
never.
thinking of like,
Thank you.
what would be the most mundane thing somebody could fucking do if they didn't have money and they didn't have a TV, like that era. I don't know. They went outside and they grab a big stick and they fucking drug it around in the mud for hours and stuff like, and that had their attention for hours. Well, now you got tablets in front of kids' faces as soon as they come out of the vagina. Literally, they're born into a fucking iPad, and then they get phones at the age of 6 now because when you're finger painting, you might miss a fucking text. I feel like we have so much technology readily available that it's kind of like a new drug.
Mm.
It's kind of like, like, ugh, my high's gone next. Ooh, my
Instant
high's gone next.
gratification, yeah. Instant
Yeah.
gratification loops
Ugh.
are bountiful now, and it is weird and it is crazy how fast it happened. And I think it's like that's why we are kind of lucky to have been born before that because it's kind of like an addict thing. It's probably harder to break it if you grew up in it and don't know anything else. But it's like for me, it's like I grew up in the era where it's like I didn't get a phone until I was in fucking high school. I didn't have that kind of shit. And the phone I had didn't have fucking internet or anything on it. It
Nope,
made phone
mine
calls
either.
and text messages, and that was it. So it was like I remember fucking freshman year when we had a fucking new kid come to there, maybe seventh or eighth grade. We had a new kid come to school and he had a fucking apple orchard in his yard, and three of us went over there and at fucking midnight just like had a fucking apple fight for like 4 hours. And we had just hucking apples at each other in the dark and just getting fucked up with these little crab apples. That's the kind of shit we used to do. Is just go outside and do something, or even sit inside and play like a video game against somebody and have that kind of engagement where you're having a
Yeah.
banter, you're having a conversation. It's like, yes, you're playing a video game, but it's like the communication skills that we got from playing video games with our friends. Like now it's like everything is catered around you have to be able to do it by yourself because you have to be able to do it all the
Well,
time and have it on your phone and have it on your Xbox, have it on your computer, everywhere. It's got to be everywhere.
Now
why?
that you say that, I feel like it's their way in order to isolate us as human beings. Because if I can keep you 100% gratified and you never have to leave your fucking house, then why would you ever leave your house? They don't want us to keep. I feel like everything that is labeled as convenient nowadays is
Mm.
actually it is it's fucking not. It's convenience is fucking. It's stealing from us, in the overall spectrum of things. It really is. I'm trying to think of the word here. I can't think of it. I had a good thought about that the other day, but it's just things are being labeled as what they are, but it's not really that, like, oh, this is so much faster to do this way, but you're not interacting. Okay, here's the thing. So we were having Wendy's the other day in Missouri, and they have where you can just order and walk in and grab your shit. Where the people that come out of the back with the food, they'll just put it in a box, and people come from their cars, just pull in the parking lot, walk in and grab their food out of that box with zero interaction. And that's convenient. And I think that's what people are missing, the point of like interaction as human beings. Once that dies, man, there's so much of a part of us that
Culture.
with that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Bro,
where this instant gratification comes in, because I'm no longer forced to have a conversation with a stranger and
yeah.
interact with people, because why, I just go on my fucking app, beep boop beep, no cash, never have to see anybody. This is convenient,
Bro, the
you know?
fucking Popeyes, the Popeyes I went to in Times Square has one person in it. Literally, you press your thing, you make your order. All they do is box your shit and they put it on this conveyor and it goes upstairs and you go upstairs to grab your meal and you sit down upstairs. No one takes your order. All your order is on a fucking console. And then this one guy in the back that you see through this window, he don't even talk to you. You see him through this window and he's boxing up your shit and he puts on his conveyor, goes upstairs. And then like your number pops up on this fucking screen or whatever, and you go and you grab your shit out of this little fucking box thing. It's crazy. One person works there. One person. The food's already pre-made by these robot fucking things.
Holy
Fucking
shit,
crazy.
that's
It's
fucking
crazy.
wild.
It's
That
fucking
that's what
crazy.
I think the only way as a society, we can get away from this type of fucking like segregation almost. It's almost like not segregation because that's based on racial, but it's like this division. They're basically they're forcing people to turn into homebodies. I saw a documentary this little girl had about her parents. She said she feels were born in the indoor generation. Like we were all born in this indoor generation that they're creating to keep us indoors, no matter
Mm.
how they have to do it. And that, like I said, that's where that 6 to 8 second thing comes back, because I don't have to leave my house to find these interactions and these highs and any of this shit anymore. And the and nobody will look at, like Jason said, like I could go to this place, and most 9 out of 10 people that go to that Popeyes probably think that's cool and that's convenient and that's awesome and all that, but they don't see what they're missing behind that is eventually human interaction is no longer going to be something that's normal. I don't want you to fucking take my order in a different room and not look me in the eyes and say, oh, like, I don't know how many times, like, nowadays where I'm the one greeting the person at the restaurant, like with the fast food, especially. You walk in, they say, welcome to Popeyes. And I was like, well, how you doing today? And they're off put by it, like, well, I'm okay, actually. Cool. All right. I'll take a number three, blah, blah, blah. I try to do that so much, even if I feel uncomfortable about it, because I feel like that's what's dying in our society, and that's what they want. They want you and I to stop talking, you and I to stop interacting. They want you to feel uncomfortable going around people without this little mask on your face, because we're all going to get fucking hepatitis F. Like like you said, that's how I feel like, like all of that we're talking about. It's a little off topic, but I'm saying, like, that's what I feel like is happening to our society, and why we hate each other, why we drive out in traffic and want to kill each other over a fucking somebody cut me off and stuff. We're all designed to, like,
Well,
not be.
they do that in Milwaukee. They shoot
Yeah.
motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, that's why I only road rage in Appleton, because I feel like 94% of people in Appleton I can kick their ass and never see. I got a big knife or a gun, and but in Milwaukee, it's not. It's the other way. I don't want to get shot. I'm like, all right, cut me off. Woo, all right, thanks, man. Yeah, no, I'll slam my brakes. It was fine. It's cool.
Well,
Yeah,
it's wild too because like so obviously we're in a first world nation, right? And I've been seeing some stuff because I work part-time in a bar, so I get to see, and it's in a very small fucking town. It's in Seymour. So it's like that's a really small little town. And the amount of people from South Africa that I have served is incredible. And I talked to these guys, and they said that they're getting brought over here because there aren't young people willing to do the kind of work that they do, which is heavy equipment operation. It's, doing all this crazy machinery shit. And they're getting brought over here for 9 months at a time to work, getting paid exuberant rates.
yep,
Then another person I had there was saying, "Oh, our job is about to, import a bunch of dudes from Italy for the same reason." And it's like it's creating a dependence from our society in particular on the people that run the country, because if you take the skills away from an entire generation, eventually they become dependent on the only people that can provide them for the services that they need. And it's the same thing, my father was in construction, and he saw it on the West Coast a few years ago. They sent him out there for, I think it was like 3 months, and they paid him fucking 4 times as much as he makes here. He made over $100 an hour with a per diem, with everything paid for, because they didn't have anybody over there doing that work. No one wanted to learn how to do skills. And it's like, if you make your entire population unskilled, it feels a lot easier to control whatever you want them to do, and it's like, it sucks that you would think there'd be more people pushing back against that and going, no, because it's like I feel the opposite. I like to be a jack of all trades. I like to learn as many things as I have even the slightest interest in. There's a few things like mechanics, there's a few things like that I just don't have any interest in it. So I'm not going to waste my time or somebody else's time with them trying to teach me. I'd rather invest money I made from somewhere else to have somebody else invest their time in that. And then I could spend my time learning different skills. But it's like, I want to become self-sufficient on all these different skills and stuff. And it's crazy how quickly technology or whatever and agendas have been able to change that entire philosophy in one generation. Not even
yeah.
a full generation, like
It only
half a
takes
step.
two decades to completely wipe out, like, the strength of a country by all the different things they're doing, to basically, and we don't have to go down that road, but it's basically like everything they're setting us up for is to take us over.
Well,
You
it's like,
know,
look at, okay, so TikTok, right? What do you guys know TikTok for? It's for stupid,
so
silly, dumb videos.
TikTok in America, the number one
Is
thing is being an influencer. All these
right.
people think
TikTok in
all they got to
China, that doesn't exist. The country
no,
that made that app,
it's
it's
called
education.
TikTok. Yeah, they say the top 10 things that Chinese kids want to be are all like scientists, doctors, NASA, that type of shit. You know, nothing that isn't a trade. And then you look at the top 10 things in America that TikTokers want, and it's like influencers number one, OnlyFans is probably number
Podcaster.
two. It all comes down to just selling yourself. You're selling your soul. You're selling yourself short. There's no longevity in any of that shit, really. And that,
No.
that's what's,
No, once everybody gets old, once you get old, I'm not trying to look at no fucking 80-year-old chick on OnlyFans. What like the fuck is that shit? I, I'm not
Yeah.
trying to have no 60-year-old influencer. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. It's crazy how that shit has blossomed into what it is. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like you
don't like
got
that word anymore, dude. Influencer, like, what are you
like you
influencing?
you got these you got like bare knuckle fighters, for example. One of their biggest, I mean, I don't know how much money they make in the actual fights that they do, but all the chicks are sponsored by OnlyFans. I swear to God, every single one of them is. They wear the fucking shit on their fucking ring entrance. They wear it to their fucking stare down, fucking like weight shit that they do. Like they wear that shit there so they can promote their and they allow them to do that. But I'm just like, bro, that's where all your money is. And a lot of them have kids. Like, what's your kid doing while you're making your OnlyFans video?
I just think the worst thing about it, I've seen a lot of podcasts about that OnlyFans thing. And what bothers me was, first of all, they ruined Instagram because now it's all tits everywhere. I can't see anything that's worthwhile. I mean, that's why I don't fuck with Instagram anymore. But now it just comes down to it's like you don't realize how you're selling yourself short. Well, I'm an independent this and independent that. Well, but you're still doing what men want. And that's what I tell my girlfriend all the time too, is like I think women at some point in our existence are going to realize that they need to quit trying to be like men and start realizing they're smarter than us and be something better because we're fucking all a bunch of dumb assholes. I mean, think about the dumb shit that men do and why we die younger and stuff, like it just comes down to it's like,
Well, you need the balance in a society, is because, genetically we're predisposed to different tendencies. And it's you to have the completionist cycle of what our species has thrived on since we've been on the earth and how we've become the dominant species is because that balance is better than any other breed has ever had. And it's led us to the most intelligent species. And it's 100% the combination of men and women at their height. It's strong men and strong women, not like you said, women who are trying to be the societal male standard. And in this is the thing, there's nothing wrong with that if that's what they really, really want to do. But there's also nothing wrong with a woman that wants to fucking build a home and do stuff and fucking take care of kids and raise up a community. Like that's the thing that's fucked up to me is like I think that in the message of saying that everybody can be anything they want, which is a wonderful thing on the surface level, what is then transpired as a cause of that is you have people that what they originally wanted was, well, I want to get married, I want to have kids, I want to, have this wonderful life, I want to build and cultivate a community. Now they feel ashamed to have that be their dream. People go, oh, all you want to do is just be a stay-at-home mother. Well, what the fuck, dude? Some of the most fucking powerful women I've ever met in my life were stay-at-home moms, and they worked harder than the fucking dude that was providing the money for the family. It was just a different kind of work. But that as a society, you need that to be able to raise kids that are fucking not shitheads. You need both of those balances.
I
And
just
it's
like
like, and it's whether it's the man or the woman doing it, you need that role.
when it comes to OnlyFans, like I really think the only thing that matters is like who's owns it, who owns OnlyFans? Is it woman owned? Because then
No,
maybe it would make more sense to me.
no, dudes own it.
That's what I'm saying. That's where it comes back to, like, it's that's where I just don't, I can't get down with that type of shit. Like, and no matter what it is, it's like, could I stop rapping and maybe sell pictures of my feet? Maybe. Maybe I'll sell fucking tinctures of butthole sweat. I don't fucking know. But I just feel like people don't realize how much more they have to offer the world than that. And that
That's
is
right,
just
bitches. You ain't getting pictures of the beak. It
it's
ain't happening.
like,
Stop
like
asking me.
why isn't somebody with 1 million followers influencing 1 million people to be decent human fucking beings? No, it's like, look at, I'm gonna do this really stupid little shimmy dance with half a nipple showing, and I'm an influencer. Durr.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, I know.
Really
It's
cool.
it's
You
it's
know,
real. It's real crazy how that works.
like they say, like, they now a lot of even men that do OnlyFans, you're all starting to realize what it's like to be a local rapper. When you fucking think you're gonna make it, you don't got 1 million followers, you only got 3,000, you sold your butthole out. You know,
Yeah.
that's what we are gonna grow up and, like, we're gonna tell stories like, oh, were you alive during that OnlyFans era? What was that all about? We're all gonna
Just be like,
laugh.
yeah, all your friends' grandmother's buttholes were for sale for fucking $6 a month.
There
It
isn't
was
anybody
crazy.
between 2015 and 2030, there isn't a person on earth whose butthole you can't see on Google. We were all down for it. It was a crazy time.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's crazy what the world's evolving into, and that's what we get back to. As an artist, I'm trying to let a lot of shit go. I've actually forgiven some artists, that you've known of B Kupps to have issues with in the past. I won't name names, but you have to eventually forgive shit that's happened in order to be a better person, a better artist. And I realized over the last year I haven't been able to truly be a better person or an artist because I have this hate in my heart for certain shit. And eventually, and it's not about like, oh, I'm the bigger man, because I said it and you didn't, because all that's going to do is create even more beef. But the people I forgave, I truly forgave everything. And it's not a who was right or wrong. I forgave the situation because I'm trying to evolve into the best version of William Schultz Jr., aka B Kupps.
Well,
You
and
know,
you learn from that, and that's another part of the reason why with the diss things, I encourage if I'm ever in a situation like if I'm in a situation where I feel like dissing somebody, there's a fucking reason for it. Like I'm pissed off. So I'm gonna fucking do that. And the reason I do that is because I don't want to be pissed off. And that is the best way for me to purge that emotion. I put it all on the track and then I don't care anymore. The situation's over to me. You can retaliate, we can have a little bit of whatever, but then it's done. And that's why it's like I encourage the fucking opposition if I'm ever in that scenario, do the same thing, bro, because you probably won't feel the same after you get that shit out of your system. And that's another reason why like the battle rap culture is so dope. And the craziest thing is like in most of these fucking local rapper diss beef, whatever the fuck, the skin is so thin. You look at these battle leagues and these dudes are fucking tearing each other apart and it's fucking respect afterwards. It was like, bro, you got me there. It's you're smiling in the face of the opposition. It's like, holy fuck, like this is a sharpening of swords here. And it's like that's another thing that seems to have gotten lost with the newer generation because it feels like it's a younger generation problem. Is that there's more people that are just getting into this for the wrong reasons that have totally different expectations and standards in terms of what they think respect really is. It's like you don't know anything about the culture if you don't understand that this is a big element of it that exists. And if you poke somebody enough, you could be subject to them fucking flaming you on some shit.
see,
And then if you don't want to
that's why
respond,
I
that's
don't
cool.
do that.
But
I don't do that battle rap for that reason because I always think like, man, I've always thought I'm mediocre. Fuck, I never thought I was the best. So when people try to put me in the category like, oh, B Cup 60 is better than everybody, when the fuck did I ever say that?
when the fuck did we
I
get
think
ice cream?
I think I'm in the top 100 in Wisconsin. That's where my mentality is at. I don't fucking think I'm shit. I'm literally like a pubic hair on the chest of hip hop. Like so. That's why it makes me laugh. Like, no, man, I just love doing what the fuck I do, man. You know, like
At
because
least
it's
you on a ball sack side, Bird.
yeah,
Bro,
yeah, yeah. That's what I was gonna go
I
that route. I
that
didn't want to be on your balls, man.
that line that you just said is gonna be the clip for this fucking shit. I- fucking pubic hair on the chest of hip hop. What?
You know what I'm saying? In the overall spectrum of things, I am not shit. I can name 5 artists right now that could annihilate me in the booth. You two are five. You know, I wouldn't. I even if I didn't like you two, I just like. I still wouldn't poke the fucking bear. Like, so I don't understand when people do that shit, especially like Denku. Like, motherfucker's got more unreleased work than I'll ever get done released. I'll he's got more albums finished that are just sitting on the shelf than I'll ever try to write in the next 40 years. You know,
Bro,
so
I got to hear 3 of them on the fucking trip this weekend, and they were
you
all
heard 3
fucking
Denku albums. Well, you've heard 5% of his catalog. You know
crazy.
what I'm
No,
saying?
I
You know
mean
what I'm
I've heard 3 of the unreleased ones. Actually, no, 4. 4 of the unreleased joints.
He
Because you
has
showed
more
me,
throwaways than I have publisher. Like, you know, I'd say like it
bro,
just comes.
these are not throwaways. These are like some fucking man. Like after listening to those albums, I gotta say, man, like I still like. I'm excited as fuck for all those to drop, but that Vincent Price one, like the combination of both the bar work from you and everybody that you chose to be on that project and the arrangement of the fucking production, just everything about that album was like, fuck yeah, this shit is dope. Like this
Yeah, I'm
might be
excited
my
about that one.
favorite Denku project because it's like
That's what
so
I'm saying.
it
Like,
covers every
overall, it comes
spectrum.
down to respect, man. And I don't care if you know a respect level. Like that's why little chicken nugget homie got this so hard because he didn't show respect to anybody. He didn't show respect to himself by buying a fucking pre-release track with an artist that wouldn't fuck with him on any day of the week if he was alive. You know, like I hate that downy shit where like and then it's one thing to do that maybe for your own sake, maybe for your, you know, because you thought it was cool. But to stand behind it, like, no, man, I got to collab with so and so. No, you fucking don't. No,
Right.
you don't.
That's
And
Yeah,
like
it
I said,
creates
yeah,
a
we,
weird false ego, bro.
yeah, we've had,
yeah,
yeah,
it's just
me and
it's
Pesto had that convo.
no respect, and that's where it comes down to. No matter what it is we do as human beings, we're music, we're painters, we're whatever. It's like you don't show respect, you're not going to get respect. And I feel like that's why my name is good. That's why your name's good, and our names are good. Is because I've always shown respect wherever I've ever done my music. I've always been respectful to the people. I've always been respectful to the sound guy, sound girl. Everybody who shows me respect gets respect back. And I feel like that's why my name has always been good. You know, maybe people don't like my music in every aspect, you know, but they could at least say, you know, at least he's a solid fucking dude. You know,
I like,
that's
I like that, man. I like, and you, and yeah, you are respected. I respect you 100%. I actually think that's a good way, Pesto, to end this. We are going on about an hour and a half. I don't like to keep them. I mean,
That
we could literally talk 3 fucking hours. Like,
it's
let's be
mostly because
honest.
I miss you guys. All right. I literally we could just do this until Danielle goes to work. That's fine. Miss
Word,
both of you so much. I just
word up,
want to
yeah,
do
man.
it's
more
been a
shows
while.
with you.
But yes, this has been super dope, man. Appreciate you, B Kupps, for being on the podcast. This has been CyphaDen Chat. I'm your host, Tayamu Deku. That's Pestilence, the CyphaDen homie over there. Shouts out to the rest of the team, Rambunctious, Urban Legend, Bofat. You know how we do it.
A
Shouts out to the
collective exquisite.
Two-Face Media family. I see Pesto rocking a shirt. And yes, shouts out to Mad World for the artwork that he always contributes to a
Yes,
lot
sir.
of the
Right here.
artists. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to B Kupps one more time for being our special guest this
One
evening.
last shout out I gotta make. Shout out to the newest member of Two-Face Media, Mars One, the
Mars
fan.
One.
We're fucking honored to have Mars One as part of the team. You can catch him on the CyphaDen Chat. I think that was episode 8, potentially.
No,
I'm just
6, I think.
6. Okay, firing from the
Yeah.
hip. I was a little wrong, but check that episode out as well if you fuck with
Cool.
this.
Yeah, man. So again, I hope you guys have a good evening. This is dope. I'm gonna get this one up definitely ASAP. I've been slacking. I had a lot of shows going on, but all the recent episodes will be up on the channel soon, so you can check the replays out if you didn't catch the live. But everybody tuning in tonight, we appreciate you the fullest. I think at one point in time we might have even had 10 people in the live chat. People are definitely fucking with the episode, man. There's still people in there right now. So we appreciate everybody
Much
for
love
tuning
to
in.
everybody who tuned in, man.
Appreciate all that. It's been a dope conversation, and we're out for the night, man. Peace, fellas.
Peace, man.
Peace.